Welcome back. The subject of critical race theory has made its way in and out of both schools and the media, the private sector, government, all in the past several years. Has anything really changed? NTD exclusively produced a new documentary called Adversity: Stories of Critical Race Theory. It exposes what may be going on in today's school classrooms in the name of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Joining us to discuss is the film's director, Daniel Holl. Daniel, good to have you with us today and great to see you again. It's been a while. Tell us what Adversity: Stories of Critical Race Theory, the film, is all about.
It's great to see you too, Steph. I see we've got our matching dark green, so we're on the same
There you go.
Well, you may be surprised, but Adversity: Stories of Critical Race Theory is about critical race theory. Joking aside, it's actually to talk about this theory, to talk about what it is, what it does, where it came from, how ideas from it are being applied, how concepts are informing educators in schools, and most importantly, I would say, what people are doing about it.
And what did you find? What did you discover while you were making it?
I discovered the surprising origin of it. I found that, I thought it was just this sort of isolated thing, but it actually goes way back to other places in the world. And surprisingly, other places in the world have been influenced by similar things. Not exactly critical race theory, but very similar ideas have been pervading the world. And I feel that's something worth knowing and sharing about.
Certainly sounds significant for a wide array of people. So why did you choose to make this documentary at this time?
Well, it was sort of a two-pronged thing. On the one side, it was sort of convenience with the work I was doing. I was meeting some of these interviewees, and they all were sort of talking about the same thing. I thought, oh, hey, I know a lot of people. Maybe we should talk about this. And on the other side, well, about the time I started, my daughter was about 1 year old. And when you have a kid, you start thinking about, okay, where are they going to go to school? What are we going to do about their education? And even now, my second was born. He's just about 1 month old. And, that really makes me think, like, hey, this stuff is important. I want to make sure that, like, my kids don't get this theory specifically. And then I thought, I could do it for myself, or I could do it for way more people, let way more people know, too. And I thought that was the right thing to do.
Beautiful. Daniel, congratulations on your newborn. That's beautiful news.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
And a great mission there to expand the influence. Many parents will be wondering the same thing. Your name comes up quite a few times in the credits of this film. How much of this documentary did you do?
Well, there's no way to say this without sounding like I'm boasting, but basically everything you're seeing on screen or hearing, that was done by me. After my initial crew did the interviews, it sort of turned into a passion project of mine. I was just volunteering basically to finish this on my own. And luckily I had the committed support of my wife to help see this through. So she helped in that respect, and a good friend of mine to also see me through, to bounce ideas off of. I gave my thanks to her at the end. Yeah. But yeah, I can proudly say that if the documentary doesn't turn out so well, hey, that's on me. But if it does turn out well, then it's like, hey, yeah, that's on me.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. And in fact, it's testimony to how significant you think this issue is. And I'd say here at NTD, we really can see the value of that too. Now, you've had creative control, essentially, as you've been describing it. How did you treat that from an artistic perspective?
Well, on the one side, I have a history in journalism too. I thought, all the stuff we're talking about, all the stuff we're presenting, I want it to be rigid, factually based stuff, evidence-based stuff, quotes from people who have developed CRT here and there. And so we're not just, making up stuff in an emotional, opinionated manner. This is stuff that can be looked up and sourced. So that's the one side. That's like, I'd say, the visual side. On the audio side, that's where I really got to take sort of control on it, where I got to, compose the music. I wrote the entire score for this. Because, first and foremost, I'm a musician and a composer, not a director. That came later. And what I wanted to do was to express the emotion that I thought people may feel as they discover this stuff. Or, what does it feel like to say, like, oh, wow, I need to stand up for my kid. I need to, put myself at risk to protect my kid. How do you make that into music? And so that's where I really enjoyed the process, I can say.
Wonderful. And I'm so looking forward to hearing it as well as watching it. I know it's going to premiere tomorrow night. Is there anything that you'd like to say at this point to the people who'll be watching it?
Yeah. Well, I want to, of course, thank, NTD for helping me produce this, and it's an honor that it can be published through Epic TV and NTD. Yes, it will be premiering tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Any Epic Time subscribers will be able to watch that on their own, or you can rent it through Vimeo. There's a link. You'll find it. I believe in you. But other than that, I would say what I would say to the audience is, we've all got families to some extent, I would say, and there's a good chance someone who has a kid. It doesn't matter if they're in school or going to be in school or they're out of school, but there's probably someone who's involved in the school system. And that alone is grounds and good reason to watch this film and just learn about what may be happening. I'm not saying it is happening, but what may be happening.
And that's such an intriguing framing, from someone who's really deeply investigated this through being a parent yourself and through the process of creating this documentary and all the investigation you've done. And it makes me think, what, if anything, do you think is missing from the broader conversation on DEI? There's been plenty of vitriol on both sides, people arguing passionately from their position. But as a documentary filmmaker, now having looked at this for so long and in such depth, is there anything that you particularly want to highlight about the issue of DEI that people may not be thinking about or talking about enough, in your opinion?
Well, I've been luckily shielded from the broader discourse, the arguments that of recent. But I have seen plenty of things, and many of the arguments, I would say, are not as substantiated as I would like. And again, this is coming from a journalistic perspective, where I would say, I want something that can be, let's find the source of this. Let's find the exact quote that's supporting this. Because there's even, I'll give a brief preview. There's one section where people are actively saying, it's not taught in schools. It's not taught in schools. And that's sort of, I would say, perhaps that's lying by omission, because one of the things I've found is principles are being used of it. So yes, literally it is not taught in schools, but concepts that come from it are being taught in schools. And so that's one point of discourse that I wish could be more prevalent, perhaps more thorough, as opposed to people just throwing around it's good, it's bad, and then have that being that.
Certainly a sense of nuance there that could be useful for someone really wanting to navigate with their eyes wide open and, as you say, with the facts, based on facts and rationality. What do you hope your film will impact, or how do you hope that people can take it forward and what effect it will have in the world?
Well, the direct impact, I hope, is I become the best, most renowned director in the world, and everyone loves me. I'm just kidding.
Absolutely. I hear you. We got your back.
What I do hope is that people can watch this and, well, stay to the end, because it does feel sort of doomy and gloomy through a lot of it, and there's reason for that. These are heavy issues. But at the end, it's like, oh, there is that sort of hope. There is a way to do this. There's a method to handle this. And you're hearing this from people who have done this, who have opposed this in a grassroots sense, in a legal sense, in a professional sense. These are people who have experienced this and gone through this. And that's why I call it stories of critical race theory, is because they all have these different stories from different levels and perspectives.
Message of hope in a sometimes murky and confusing area and sector and discipline here. Thank you so much for your time today, Daniel Holl. All the best. I'm so looking forward to seeing it. And folks, the documentary is called Adversity, Stories of Critical Race Theory. It premieres online tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time right here on NTD. And you can also watch it on Epic TV and Vimeo, as our dear director just alluded to. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you so much, Steph. It's wonderful to see you. Take care.
And you.